what's up guys? Matt here. Welcome to this week's episode of Matt Talks. So this week on Matt Talks, I'd like to talk a little bit about the iPhone 7. So the iPhone 7, a very controversial phone. I do not have the iPhone 7 yet. My upgrade is in December, and I will be getting the iPhone 7 Plus matte black. Now, the reason I'm getting the iPhone 7 is because it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. Right now, I've got the iPhone 6, and it's small, and it's old, and the battery isn't very good, and I want a bigger phone, I want a newer phone, I want 2 cameras on the back. The headphone jack, a little bit of a hiccup, if I'd say so myself. I am a very avid music listener, and the removal of the headphone jack is a little bit of a disappointment because, like I just said, I listen to music all the time. But I can switch to Bluetooth headphones, which I don't have. I don't believe I'm going to be getting the AirPods because they're $160. Now, I am an Apple fanatic, so I probably will be getting those at some point. Because you know me, I've got the Apple Watch, the iPhone, the MacBook Pro, and the iPad. I'm going to look up some technical specifications of the iPhone 7. The iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus have switched to 128 gig being the middle section of the gigabyte storage capacities. Now that's fantastic. I have the 64 gigabyte, and before that I had the 32 gigabyte iPhone 5? I think so, yeah. Now with the iPhone 7 Plus, I'm going to be getting the 7 Plus, like I said, and that is a 5.5 inch screen, which is going to be so much better than the baby 4.7 inch screen. Now that may not make much sense to you if you don't know size or inches or anything like that, but it's going to be a lot bigger, and I'm really excited. I don't know how well it'll fit in my skinny jeans, that's the only thing. But I'm gonna try it anyways because Apple and good battery life on the 7 Plus. Now, with the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, IP67 rating. That means dust and water resistant. Almost waterproof. IP68 is the waterproof, and that is the Galaxy S7. Now, that's okay that it's not all the way waterproof, but it's still going to be awesome. Now, I don't use a case on my phone, like you can see. I don't use a case on my phone, as you can see, and I'm not going to use one on the 7 Plus either. The reason I don't use a case is because, did you see how beautiful that was? Look how pretty! Yeah, no way I'm putting a case on that bad boy. I do, however, have a case on the iPad here, just because it's a kind of a screen protector. Where I set the iPad when I set it down, there's things that go on top of it, so this is a good case for it. It's not even really a case. I can just take it off, but it's not about the iPad this episode. Now, the cameras. Woo! Woo! I'm so excited for these cameras. So, we've got a 12 megapixel wide angle and telephoto lens. 12 megapixel, if none of those words mean anything to you, it's a good camera. Probably the best on the market. Now, you heard me say 2 cameras, the wide angle and the telephoto. The wide angle is just your normal everyday camera on your phone. It's kind of got a big field that you can take a picture of, and it's great. Now, however, the telephoto lens is more zoomed in. So let me try to explain this to you. With smartphones, when you zoom in, you are not zooming in the lens, you're zooming digitally, which makes it very grainy. And with this setup here, you've got the wide angle, which is your normal shot, which is a pretty wide angle, and then you have the telephoto, which is a zoomed lens. So 28 millimeters is the wide angle, which is a pretty good focal length and length for the lens, and then the 56 millimeters is the zoom lens. So it's just a little bit. It's like 1x zoom and a 2x zoom is what they say on the phone. Now, panoramic shots up to 63 megapixels. Whoo, goodness! Now, as of late, I've been taking a little bit more panoramic shots. Like, I took one at WDRB, and I just took one now, or a little bit ago, with my phone, of the whole setup here, because I'm super excited to be in front of the green screen again, shooting. So, if you're watching this episode and I'm wearing the same shirt as I was last week, that's because I've shot. This is my 3rd episode of Matt Talks I shot in the last hour. Now, video recording 4K at 30 frames per second, 1080p, 30 or 60 frames per second, blah, 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 image stabilization, optical image stabilization for the 7 Plus and the 7. What's good about optical image stabilization, if none of that makes sense to you, optical image stabilization is the camera lens in the phone steadying the shot. If it's not optical image stabilization and it's digital stabilization, you'll still see a little bit of jitteriness when you shoot. Like right now I'm going to shoot with my phone. So right now I'm shooting with my phone 1080p at 60 frames per second, and this is digital image stabilization. So it's not the same as optical image stabilization. And you see there how bad that looks zoomed in with all the grain and stuff. From back here, it's all right. And then here's the green screen. So yeah, just the optical image stabilization is going to be fantastic for videos and things of that nature. Now, the front-facing camera is 7 megapixels, where the old cameras were 5 megapixels. That's just a little bit bigger bump for your selfies, because, you know, I take a lot of selfies. Instagram.com/BramerMatt. New home button. What's all that about? This new home button is not a physical button anymore. I don't know how to explain it. I've got a new MacBook Pro that uses the Force Touch trackpad, so it's very similar to that, I've heard, and I've used the new iPhone 7 home button on a couple people's phones. It's going to take some getting used to. It's not, you won't hear the same click as the old phones or anything like that, and it's all the Taptic engine. Taptic. I'm not sure which it is, if it's the haptic or the Taptic. I'm thinking it's the haptic because the I don't actually know. I don't have a clue. These words probably don't make any sense to you, but that's okay because they don't make any sense to me either. But the home button, once you click it, you will get like a vibration to where it feels like you're using a real home button, but it's just kind of weird. So all in all, I'm super excited for the iPhone 7. I'm going to get mine in December. And yeah, so I'm going to be talking a little bit about that in December. Once I get it, I'll show it off, kind of play some things and do all that fun stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching this week's episode of Matt Talks. Hope you enjoyed. I may change my shirt and shoot another Matt Talks, so be on the lookout for that. Peace!